Hey everyone, it's Croncy, and it's time for another Star Citizen mining video. During the free fly event that's going on right now, you might not want to be in places like Port Olisar, and so today I'm going to take you to the hive world that is ArcCorp and its moons. Namely, we'll be looking at Walla and Lyria. But before we begin, I stream most days over at twitch.tv/Croncy, where I do a lot of mining and we do some community fleets, so come hang out. For those of you who are new to mining, there are two things we're going to need here. Firstly, a prospector, which during the free flight every player has access to, or you can rent it at Area 18 and Lorville for just over 41,000 UEC. Secondly, you're going to want a size 1 Helix mining laser, which you can buy for 118,000 UEC. These two things can be expensive, but this combo will ensure you can crack pretty much every single rock you will come across, and that's going to give you all of that money. First things first is we have to figure out what our base of operations is. As we are in ArcCorp, we're going to use Area 18 as our base of operations. This means we will be landing in the atmosphere, so we're going to be losing some time coming in and out of the spaceport, and we will be making that a part of our calculations to determine if a moon is worth it or not. Luckily though, usually when you do QT into Area 18, it'll put you pretty damn close to the spaceport, so you lose a lot less time than you would at somewhere like Microtech. The other thing is, unlike some other locations, the refinery on this planet can be a bit hard to find. Once you land, you're going to want to take the tram and then head over to this building. The two terminals on the left here are the ones you will be able to sell your mineable resources from. Alright, we've got the ship kitted out, and so it's time for us to get into atmosphere and get to mining. And I'm going to start with Walla. Unlike the moons of Microtech, both Walla and Lyria have very low atmospheric conditions and no adverse gravity conditions either. I quantumed into Walla and had a look around for some good rocks. On Walla, you're mostly going to find Quantanium, Agricium, and Laranite. They're going to be your primary mining materials, but from what I can tell, deposits for the most part are pretty spread out. In the first run, I found some okay Agricium deposits and made about 61,000 UEC. Second run, I found some good Agricium and Terranite deposits. Bringing it back, still got about a solid 60,000 UEC. But in the last run, I was able to find really good Quantanium deposits. I brought them back and I got 180,000 UEC. Overall, I spent just over 2.5 hours going back and forth and got a total of 301,000, giving me an average of 120.4 thousand UEC per hour. Some things I want to make a note of was just how many Quantanium nodes I found while on this moon. As I was recording, I had collected a fair bit of Quantanium that I was mining before I was rudely interrupted by a 30k area. So I think these numbers are appropriate for what you might expect. Next, let's go to Lyria. On Lyria, you can find a lot of Hephaestonite, a bunch of Quantanium, and then some Laranite and Agricium. However, if Walla was deserted, Lyria was a vast, empty plain. Each run took an extremely long time for me to gather rocks. I ended up spending about 70% more time on Lyria than I did on Walla. On the first run, I quantumed in and eventually found a Quantanium deposit that filled our ship up about a quarter. When I went back to sell it, I made 50,000. Second run, by far my longest, I eventually found two absolutely amazing Quantanium deposits. Got to work mining on them before one of the rocks decided to bug out. And in wasting my time trying to figure out what went wrong, I spent too long in my ship and exploded in the hangar before I had a chance to sell what I harvested. This run would have been pretty close to a 100% Quantanium run if all had went well. So for the purposes of the video, I will add in this run, which should have been about 220,000 UEC if we're including some inert material. In the third run I did, I found some Agricium and Hephaestonite, but we were once again hit with a 30k error. So I ended up counting the 40% cargo we had and calculated we would have had about 26,000 UEC from that run. Overall this run, after 3 hours and 20 minutes, I had mined a total of 296,000 UEC, giving us an average of about 90,000 UEC an hour. Once again, I want to point out that I had seen an absolutely insane amount of Quantanium deposits compared to all of the other rocks, and in the second run, the two Quantanium rocks together, both with 15% or higher. And so, looking at these two moons, which should you mine if you are looking to mine around ArcCorp? Purely on numbers, jump into Walla, even if we aren't including the Quantanium deposits, which seem to be very abundant on this moon. It's easily a 60,000 minimum run every 30 to 40 minutes. However, I do really want to revisit Lyria again. Every time I did find a deposit, it was some of the best deposits I'd ever found. Not in terms of size, but in terms of percentage. It is possible that if you don't want to jump in with a Helix mining laser, Lyria might actually be your best bet. The only issue was how far away and far between these rocks were. which was a lot. And that's about it for today, guys. Before you leave, make sure you give the video a like and a comment. It helps my videos beat that annoying YouTube algorithm, and subscribe for more weekly Star Citizen content. Next week, we finish up the Moons of Stanton by heading on over to Hurston and trying out their fancy bag helmets. Have a good one.